everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Boston Sports Nuts. I'm Paul Izzo, along with my good buddies Jim Russo
Hey, Paul.
and Ken Berman.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Yeah, so we're taping this on April 9, 2026, and we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on in all of the sports. We're going to try to cover as many of them as we can in the time we have. But we're going to kick things off with the Boston Red Sox, who, as of this taping, are 4-8. Not the start that we were all looking for. My good buddy Jim, known him for 40 years now. Hard to believe.
Wow.
Jim, where are we at with the Boston Red Sox? Get us started. Come on.
Well, the last couple of days gave us a little hope anyway. They beat a very good team. They won the series. They won 2 out of 3. They got good pitching performances from Crochet and Sonny Gray against a real good team. Sonny Gray, who pitches much better in the afternoon, by the way, and will be starting Patriots Day. Hopefully he has another good one. But, before that, it looked really bad. I mean, they didn't hit, they didn't field, and except for Crochet, Whitlock, and Chapman, they didn't pitch well. So that's where we are. And, it's a cliche, but they got to do all those things better. I mean, Trevor Story, who's supposed to be a good defensive shortstop, has not fielded well. Myers fielded well at second. The last I checked, he was hitting under 200. And, Durbin at third has not had a good start at all. And I think also the first 12 games have indicated that, we talked last week about the lack of a bat in the middle of the order, right? I think this first has showed us that expecting 21-year-old Roman Anthony to be the big star is a little too much, I think, to put on him right now. He's 21. He had half a season in the big leagues?
Yeah,
he played well, but wouldn't it be much better if, you had, I don't know, a David Ortiz or, some modern Pete Alonso for a modern player or somebody other than him who's going to be your big bat in the offense. And I think that showed, he's got off to a tough start. So
yeah, he's struggling in the field too.
Yeah,
and
very
he's
much
struggling
so.
in the field. His throwing is
By the way, he struggled last year too. He wasn't a very good defensive shortstop last year either.
He didn't play shortstop.
Oh, who are we talking about?
Roman Anthony.
Oh, Anthony. I thought you were talking about Trevor Story still.
No.
Roman Anthony. No, he can't throw the ball, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that he can't throw the ball. He hasn't thrown the ball.
Right.
Hopefully he's got to do better than he's done.
Yeah. Or he's going to be a DH. I don't know how you get around it.
Ken, any initial thoughts?
Well, it was a rough start. Hopefully they get better. I think I'm afraid of the lack of star quality when you look up and down the lineup. To me, I just don't see, Petrocelli, Yastrzemski, Reggie Smith, George Scott. I don't see Veritek and Burleson and Flynn and Rice and Evans and Pudge Fisk and I don't see that when I look at this.
You don't see John Valentin either.
Right, another great player.
They're not walking through that door, Ken.
No, they're not. I like the third baseman Durbin. Is he gonna be? He doesn't jump out as being a star. I haven't heard anything from the first baseman they got in the offseason yet. I don't think really they have catching quality. I said that a couple of shows ago. I'm not a big fan of their catching quality, but I think they'll be able to pitch better. I think they'll pitch better. So, and by the way, Rafael, center fielder, Cedeno, great fielder. Is he gonna hit, or is he JBJ all over again? I think I don't know. He's a great fielder. I get it, but so wasn't JBJ, but he couldn't hit the ball. I mean, you got to hit the ball a little bit. if you're gonna play center field, I think. You're gonna be an outfield position. You gotta hit it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's always tempting to try to have a player that's just great on defense,
Right,
but it doesn't. I mean, go back to Mark Belanger is always the example people give. When he didn't hit, the Orioles didn't win.
yeah.
So you got to be careful there. All right, so let me jump in here, guys. I think that it's too early to push the panic button. Now, I've actually watched more games this year than I have normally at the beginning because of my circumstances. I've been able to watch a little bit more. I think if you take a step back and just look at the major leagues right now, there are about 22 teams that are one or two that are either playing 500 ball or one or two games off 500 ball. The Yankees have gotten off to a good start. They're 8-3. The Braves are 8-5. The Dodgers are 9-3. There's a couple of teams in the Central that are 8-4, but most teams are 5-7, 4-8, 6. They're hovering around that middle. And it's always tempting to it's cliche, but it's always tempting to look at the beginning of a baseball season and draw conclusions from it for the whole season. So I kind of took a step back this morning and I looked at it. The Red Sox offense is average. They're not below average, they're average.
Really? I'm
Their
surprised at
OPS
that.
is right below the average number. Their runs scored is right below the league average. Their strikeout percentage is slightly above the league average. So they've probably slightly underperformed, but they've been average. Their ERA is average. It's right there at the American League average, ERA. Obviously, they have some concerns. Third base, to me, is the big one. They moved on from Devers. They've moved on from Bregman, and they have a pretty unproven commodity there with Durbin. I mean, he's batting what, 111, something like that.
Mhm.
That's a big hole that they need to fill, and he hasn't really excelled defensively either. But if you look at the team as a whole, they're probably one or two bad innings away from being 7-5, 5-7, 6-6, which would put them right where they would be with everybody else. And then you got to hope that at some point they go on a run. Now, being 4-8 means it's going to take them a while to get back to 500 unless they go on a winning streak. So I'm choosing to be concerned, but not in the panic mode.
I'm not counting
The,
out.
the local media in Boston is in panic. I mean, they're loving this because it gives them a lot to chew on. All these things you can complain about. But I'm being cautious here. I'm
They,
not jumping off the bandwagon.
I mean, they look like a 500 team to me. So I assume they'll be somewhere around there. We need them to be a little bit better than that, but that's what I hope they're better than that. I'm not giving up hope yet, but I don't know. And by the way, I think I told you guys, or maybe one of you on the phone, in the last 123 years, teams that started out 2-8 have made the playoffs 14 times.
Yeah.
Well,
But there wasn't divisional and
yeah.
now there's more rounds and stuff. So I get it.
Well, the question is if they're average or they're slightly below average, is that what the Red Sox should be? And to me, the answer is no. They need to be more than this. And, I think the ownership has decided or whatever that this is the way to go and hope for that run, Paul, you talked about. That'll get us in the playoffs. And then in the playoffs, anybody has a chance. This is not the Red Sox we've enjoyed since 1967. This is not it. And, I don't know what the attendance is. I don't know what the ratings are, but this is not it. When we go down that lineup and, I think one guy is over 300 maybe. And I think it's Connor Wong. What are we doing? I mean, what are we doing? And I just don't think the Boston Red Sox should be average. I've been saying this since Betts, and I don't see any changes, frankly.
Yeah.
They didn't, we all hoped that when they traded Devers and saved all that money, that they'd get another big time hitter, I think. And they just really haven't.
No.
I mean,
No,
Devers
and
and I know, Paul, you didn't like Bregman, but I
Well, I
mean,
wouldn't say I disliked him, but the guy doesn't, we'll see if he plays 145
right.
games.
That's right. Before he got hurt, he was really terrific. And once he got hurt and came back, he wasn't. So I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
want to address something Jim just said about average. I'm saying that they're average now, not that I want them to stay average.
I know.
The over under for them was around 87 or 88, which I thought was high.
Yeah, that's high.
Starting off 4-8 means that they have to play like 18 or 20 games over 500 to get to 88 wins the rest of the way.
Yeah.
They have to pretty much win every month. They have to, finish 3 or 4 games above
Look,
500 every month the rest of the way. It's going to be tough.
let's put this in a global perspective, if you will. You want to do, not you, but the Red Sox want to do this. Play in the NL Central. Play in the whatever that. You can't do this in the American League East.
No.
You've got the New York Yankees,
Right.
Aaron Judge, stars all over the place, good players on the bench, you know, signing guys when they need them. You've got the Toronto Blue Jays who had just come off a World Series where they almost beat the super team, the LA Dodgers. I mean, extra innings, I believe, the 7th game. Just a tremendous World Series with Vlad Guerrero, one of the best hitters in the league. Again, good pitching. In the Orioles, maybe they'll have a bounce back year. I don't know. But you can't do this in the American League East. I'm sorry. Talent will win out in the end. Aaron Judge is going to beat, guys that hit 20 homers. Wilson Contreras, he's a nice player. He should be batting 6th on a really good team. He's a nice player.
Yeah, they're lacking
so
punch.
go to the NL Central, compete with the Cubs and the Pirates and the Cardinals and you'll fight for first with the Brewers probably.
Yeah. Well, Jim, you want to know what you want a number that addresses your point about this is not who bought, I don't know what the ratings are. I don't know this. I don't know that. The Red Sox are 6th in the league in attendance with over 33,000 people. As long as people keep showing up at that level, the ownership is not going to be motivated to do anything different.
Yeah.
They've shown that. They've said it. I mean, to their credit, they've said we're not going to go down that road anymore. Now, I think their PR problem is they've never really stuck with that philosophy.
Right.
There was that period of time when they dialed it back and then they thought they looked bad. And they went out and they signed Pablo Sandoval and they signed Hanley Ramirez. And so they went out and signed Suarez for the money that could have kept Bregman or got Pete Alonso.
Right.
So to me, you're either, I don't know, it's like they take half measures of things.
Absolutely.
To me, the Boston Red Sox should be this. Free agents come out, and if the Yankees want the guy, or the Dodgers want the guy, or the Mets want the guy, Red Sox aren't going to get him. Well, number 3 of those teams did not want Pete Alonso. He was a perfect fit here. Didn't get him. Didn't offer him enough money.
Right.
I'm sorry. You can't be losing to the Baltimore Orioles on a free agent bidding.
Right.
Please. I mean, and then you get a guy he's okay. He's probably one of their best hitters right now. He's okay, but he's not a star. I don't know. It's frustrating to watch, frankly. And I like some of their players. I just think they're expected to be stars. Like Roman Anthony, like I said, I use that example, expected to be a star,
Marcelo Mayer.
Well, everybody's excited about Abreu, but you start hitting like that, and the scouts are going to pay extra attention to you. And next thing you know, they find his hole, and they can't.
Yeah, well, let's see if he does it all year. If he does it all year, maybe they hit on him. I just want to see him. He doesn't have to hit 390 all year, but if he hits 30, 35 homers, drives in 100 runs, okay, we got a really good player.
I think
that's great.
I think he did this last year too. Had a really hot start.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. You know,
All right, guys. Enough Red Sox talk. The team that's actually excelling, playing well, getting national media attention are the Boston Celtics.
Mm.
I think they're 14 or 50, got 14 or 15 wins in a very short amount of time since Tatum returned, which is itself a remarkable story. My old friend, Ken Berman, former
Mm.
Celtic season ticket holder.
Mm.
yes.
Take it away. Take it away.
I'm with you. His comeback, let's start with Jason Tatum. His comeback's been unbelievable. He had a little up and down in the beginning, but he seems to have settled in nicely, coming back to form. His rebounding has been terrific. His defense is almost back. He's dangerous on offense again. His passing looks better than I remember it. Seems to be passing the ball better. Um, and so, you know, to have him back in the way Jaylen Brown is playing, that's a pretty good combination again. And it looks like Tatum is going to have just enough games to get his legs in shape and get himself winded, NBA win back. It really looks like he's come around. Nehemiah's Queta has over exceeded any of our expectations by for me anyway, by quite a bit.
Yeah.
They It's a remarkable season. I'm not going to be Mike Felger and go, well, if they don't win the Eastern Conference Finals, it's a total, disaster. And,
Yeah.
because it's been a great season. They've well overachieved this year. We talked many times about the guys that left and what was going to happen. And look what's happened. This has been an incredible run. They just about got the number two sewed up, I think, right, Jim?
They're 3 up with 3 to play, but they got to win a game. Knicks get the tie.
Yeah, even
Right.
if they lose to the Knicks, that's
Yeah.
okay
They got to
because
win one
they
of the
just have to
games.
win one of the other games.
Yeah.
Knicks have 3 home games against the Celtics and 2 non-playoff teams. So if they want the games, they're going to win them. So the Celtics need to beat the Knicks, Pelicans, or Magic coming down the stretch, which is going to be interesting because, Celtics are playing great, but the Knicks are really good. So the Knicks may win tonight.
Right. That makes it
And
interesting.
the Celtics are going all out, apparently, to win this game tonight.
Oh, they
Jason
are?
Tatum won't play a back-to-back. And I don't know if Jaylen Brown's going to play a back-to-back. And the Pelicans are not as bad as people thought they were going to be. They're not a playoff team, but they're not a pushover either. And the Celtics are going to, they may go into that game tomorrow night really shorthanded. So might come down to the Orlando game. I don't know.
There was 4 or 5 guys questionable for tonight's game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Ken,
Brown,
the thing
Queta.
you pointed out, I want to expand on is Queta. I think he's been a huge difference in the last, I don't know, 3 weeks, a month. His chemistry with Brown and Tatum on the high pick and roll has become fantastic, especially for a guy who is not going to pick and pop. This isn't Horford or Porzingis that can do both. Queta's got one option, roll, and it's working. He's been great. He's just been great. He's setting picks better than he ever did, which is an art in itself. You don't want to get offensive fouls every time down.
Right.
But he's been tremendous. And what you said about everything else is true. I am ready to, given everything Ken says, now focus on, hey, here's where we are and where are we going? We can look, to me, after tonight, Tatum admitted tonight is a hurdle for him, which I thought it was very refreshing that he admitted that, going back to the place where he got hurt. So after tonight, I think it's like, okay, where are we? How do we stack up? This is who we're going to be. And the NBA right now is having a fascinating last week. And it's fascinating in a good way because we're seeing a battle in the West, the seeding where teams are trying to win. And it's also fascinating in a bad way because the tank stuff is incredible. It's just, And I admit it, if the Celts were there, I wouldn't want them to win, but it's just incredible. But anyway, it's an interesting last week for a couple of reasons. So
Paul, current season ticket holder?
Well, a couple of things. Number one is I think the big difference with Tatum coming back, not a difference, but is his rebounding. Right now, he's averaging just under 10 rebounds a game, which is a career high for him. Now, obviously, he hasn't played the whole season, but just on a per game basis, he's got a career high in rebounds. And
before you go on, Jason Tatum, since he's come back, is the average, obviously, is the highest average wing rebounder in basketball in the NBA.
Okay, better still. Yeah, I mean, he's been terrific rebounding. I agree with you, Ken. He looks to be distributing a little bit more of a team approach. He hasn't been doing the pound, pound, pound thing quite as often. I'm sure there are basketball gurus that can point out deficiencies in his game from last year to this, pre-injury to now. I think he's elite right now. Now, he may not be at the top of his game, but he's a great player right now. He is. I mean,
I think
the numbers bear that out, and they're winning.
Yeah, the biggest thing left for him to me is the defense. I have seen guys blow by him that would not have blown by him before. The rest of it, I agree, Paul. He looks pretty good. The rebounds, fantastic.
My sense with the defense is that he may be choosing to be a little less aggressive there because it might increase his chance of re-injuring himself. That may be because you're backing up, you're doing things that maybe are a little bit more unnatural.
Right.
But if I take you at your word, more than I do. I'm not really seeing it, and I think all this nonsense that we had to hear back in January and February about how he and Brown, how is it going to work, and is Brown going to be upset? Brown is still putting up big numbers. He's getting 30 points, 28 points, 25 points. He's still going to the hoop. He's still getting all the props from the national media. Stephen A. Smith last week went off for 10 minutes about Jaylen Brown, saying, this brother hasn't just done it this year. He's been doing it for 10 years. And, it's about time we show him some love. So my thought is it's working. And I do not rule out the Celtics making the NBA Finals by any means. They have played some tough games. They beat OKC. They've taken other top teams right to the limit. They've only lost two or three games in the last month and a half.
Yep, since he came
back. What else do
they
have to do?
I think, unlike last year or the year before, that this team, although last year they lost in the second round, I think this team could lose early or they could make the finals. I just think, we got to see this particular team in the playoffs. But I agree, Paul, they can make the finals. And something I saw the other night against a very good Charlotte team. And I would love to sit down and talk with the Celtics about this. Obviously, I never will, but
I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay. They seem to have the philosophy this year of we are going to start out in games and we're going to make you hit the three. And this goes for like every game. We are not going to have our bigs come up on a pick and guard the guard or the forward. We're not going to do that. So what's happening is if it's a really good screen and our guy can't fight over it, guys are getting virtually uncontested threes, and we're living with it. Now, Ball went off the other night. He was fantastic for 3 quarters. Absolutely elite level. I mean, God, if he wasn't doing it to the Celtics, I'd be totally enjoying it. It was amazing. And I texted you guys, you can't stay in this defense when this guy's this hot. In the third quarter late and the fourth quarter, they got out of it.
Yep.
And Nimi Keita started playing ball after picks. One time, Scal was cheering for Keita because he actually forced Ball almost to his bench on defense. and he shot a one-legged three and it missed, but they got the rebound and scored. That's not Cade's fault. He's got a god ball. But what I saw in that fourth quarter was in your shirt, in your grill defense from the Boston Celtics. It was phenomenal. That's how OKC plays. Can the Celtics do that more often in the playoffs when everybody's into it? That to me is an interesting question, but boy, they did it the other night, man. I don't think did he score in the fourth? I don't even know.
No, he didn't. I think he went scoreless in the fourth.
Hats off to the Celtics, man. That was great. That was
And by the way, if when Tatum and Brown are on the court, and what do? Do you leave Hauser open? Do you leave Pritchard open? Do you leave White open? You know, the two of them together makes it awful tough on other teams' defenses.
Does. I find that they're not blitzing Jaylen Brown as much as they used to with Tatum, from what I'm seeing right now, but that could easily change in the playoffs. Right. And I got to tell you, the one thing about Jaylen Brown, if I was on the other coach, I'd be blitzing him when his eyes are a little bit off the ball, because he's still a little shaky. But I'd be like, if he was backing down a guy, as soon as he looked at the guy, I kind of blitz him from his blind side. And again, he's had a tremendous year, but that's something that I think, he's got to look out for. And he's going to turn the ball over. Anybody with that, who has the ball with that much, Luka turns it over. They all turn it over.
Right.
But, he just got to try to minimize it.
Yeah. And he's done a great job of minimizing it.
Yes, he has. Oh, yeah. Phenomenal.
Whatever they've done to him, they have blitzed him at times. Teams have come at him.
Well, I got to tell you, Charlotte did it once, and Jaylen Brown just fantastic. He found the guy in the middle, then dumped it down to the cutter, who was going in for a layup, and I'm like, beautiful. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would like Brown and Tatum to do, guys, all the dribbling when you're not going anywhere, it's not faking anyone out. If you're not moving forward, just between your legs, get the ball and go. That eliminates the blitz. It's like, but they don't do that. That's not the modern, unless you play for San Antonio, players don't do that.
Yeah.
They want to dribble under their legs. And I'm all for between your legs, behind your back when you need it.
Hey, one of the questions, because Vukovic has come back, but he hasn't shown me much since he came back. And I know it's only been a few games and stuff. But he came back, and once again, Gaza goes to the bench. And I think we've all agreed that he's probably a better basketball player than Gaza, but Gaza is quite an energy guy. And once again, Vukovic went out, Gaza came in and produced. So I'm like, if Vukovic doesn't produce, will they go to Gaza?
I don't. First of all, he had a great fourth quarter in everything but shooting. His defense was great. His rebounding was great. Scal said it. He really had a great fourth quarter. Second of all, he reminds me of Tatum. Tatum came back and his shooting was way off. Vucevic's shooting is way off. I think Joe's doing the right thing. He's got to play this guy in these three games. That's one guy that will probably play the back-to-back. He's got to play. And if Joe thinks he's not up to Gaza's level, I think Joe will play Gaza. Joe's just that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Scal had a great line about what he's learned from Missoula the other day. I don't know if you guys, I think it was on his show. They were talking about the Lakers. He goes, I've been following Joe Missoula. You keep the top three players on your team close, and everybody else you can yell at. So, I mean, that's a good formula for the NBA, whether it's Missoula or anybody else.
And pretty soon we can talk about how they plan on shortening up the rotation. Like is Shireman going to play come playoff time?
Yes.
Yes. So? Okay.
Yeah, they're playing 9 right now. If you guys notice, I'm sure you have. When Tatum came back and everybody's playing, they're playing 9, and either Ugo, Shireman, or Walsh doesn't play. It started off as Walsh. Then Walsh came in a game where they were shorthanded and played very well. Now it's Ugo. Ugo did not get in. He won't play 10. So I think he'd only shorten it 1 maybe. But Shireman's playing too well.
Yeah.
He's shooting well. He plays D. He hustles. He's got to play. You know,
Be
so
interesting to see.
yeah. And Ugo's had a good year, but man, Walsh got it ball, by the way.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
he did.
yeah. So
Another energy guy. Walsh is another. All three of those guys are energy guys.
they're energy guys. Yep. No doubt about it.
By the way, I just, before we move on from basketball, I just want to fantasize for a minute. When I come back, uh, reincarnated, I want to be Xavier Tillman. Okay. The guy makes $2.5 million a year.
He hasn't played in 5 years.
He's got another year on his contract.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Every time I turn on a game, he's on the bench. He's either on our team, the other team. He keeps getting traded. He gets released. He gets signed.
Yeah.
It's like, who signs him? I mean, that just shows you how much stupid money is in the NBA.
Yeah.
That they feel that having him on the team is worth $2.5 million versus some guy off the street who can sit on the bench. Ken, you'll take 250,000 a year to do that.
Yeah.
Well,
easily.
he is riding a playoff that happened when he was still on OKC, I believe.
Yeah.
And he came out of that playoff and he had played some good defense on some big player or something. He has ridden that
Right.
to the situation you bring up.
Right.
Because that's what he did. That's what got him to the Celtics. They thought he could play D on great players.
It's incredible.
And they he hit that 3 in the championship season. But yeah, he's ridden that. That's what he's ridden.
By the way,
I didn't realize he had another year. Oh man.
You want to know his career earnings?
Yeah.
11.5 million.
How much?
11.5 million.
God bless him.
God bless him. Yep.
Unbelievable.
Isn't there some guy in the G League that can sit on the bench?
Yeah, you would think, right?
Yeah.
It's like the backup quarterback. That's the other job I want.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey,
never
speaking
let
of
the
football,
starting quarterback get hurt either.
Yeah.
That's what you don't
football.
want. Hey, a couple of
hold on. Go ahead, Ken. Ken, go if it's basketball.
Just a couple
this is
of
basketball
NBA
too.
updates.
Go ahead, Ken.
All right.
Cade Cunningham coming back already from a collapsed lung.
Yeah.
Wembanyama needing 1 20-minute game to be eligible for postseason awards.
Yep.
Just thought that was interesting. I think
it's totally interesting because Cade's going to miss by 1 game, and that doesn't count the game he got hurt in because he hadn't reached the 15-minute level for a game like that. And because to me, if Wemby gets the 1 game, as much as Jaylen Brown's played great, if Cunningham and Luke is going to miss it by a game.
Yeah.
And he's appealing because he took time off to be a father, to be with his wife. You have 6 players for 5 spots, and I don't know who, it would have. Yeah. It probably would have come down to Brown and Cunningham.
This came up on Pardon the Interruption yesterday. Count me all in, feet first on the 65 game rule.
Yeah,
all in.
I'm okay with it.
And I thought Tony Kornheiser made a great point. The fact that the players are, dying to win these awards is the proof that giving them an incentive to play and tying it to the awards is a good idea.
Yeah.
Like if they were saying, well, that's all right, I don't care about winning the award anyway, then you might say, well, it doesn't seem to be changing behavior. But it is changing behavior. And the one point he didn't make, which I'm going to make, is if you don't play 65 games, you shouldn't win an award, period.
Right.
It doesn't matter if your wife had quadruplets. You weren't there for 25% of the games.
By the way, Luka Doncic.
Why should you win an award? Or 22%, whatever the number is.
Yeah.
You shouldn't win an award if you're not there.
By the way, Luka is going to finish 1 short. Guess what happened to him? He got his 16th tech and missed the game.
Oh, that's right.
If the guy could keep his mouth, away from the quiet a little bit with refs and not get near 16, he would have qualified.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Now, you can certainly win average awards. They could say, well, he had enough free throw attempts or enough field goal attempts.
They can.
Right.
And they
But
also, the guy on the Knicks Bridges, who hasn't missed a game in like forever, he also gets credit for a played game because I think I know 2 seasons ago and maybe last year, he went onto the court for like 8 seconds. Now, maybe I'm exaggerating. That counts in his game streak.
yeah, well,
But it
Lou
was
Gehrig had
minimal.
token appearances too, which no one ever talks about. But
Who did?
Lou Gehrig.
Okay, yeah.
And by the
That's
way,
the token
SGA is going to win the MVP, right, Jim?
Yeah, but I think 3 guys could easily win it. And I wouldn't have a complaint with any of them with Jokic. And Jokic has now won 10 games in a row. They're in 3rd now. Wemby is just dominating. He's just it's to the point where it's just he's just off the charts. And they're 3 games behind. But I think it's got to go to SGA. He's on the best team. Does he ever miss a 4th quarter shot? I mean, can someone look that up? When's the last time he was just in the 4th quarter? It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, you know what? It aggravates me that it's most valuable player, hands down, no question. Don't even want to hear the argument, so don't even try. It's Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown. It's Jaylen Brown. He carried a franchise missing its best player to the 3rd or 4th best record in the NBA. That's value. Below him, he lost a Hall of Famer in Drew Holiday. He lost Kristaps Porzingis. He lost a borderline Hall of Famer in Al Horford. He lost Luke Cornett, and he lost the best player on the team, Jason Tatum. And he carried them all the way to mid-February.
Yeah,
March,
I was going to make the
was.
same point, Paul, that I would have no problem with him winning it. With the
valuable, he's the most valuable.
I think if you went valuable, it would be between Brown. We all know from time immemorial the numbers with Jokic on the court and Jokic off the court. Yeah, probably should win every year if that was the
yeah, that's a fair point.
The same thing is going on in I don't know what the numbers are in San Antonio, but that guy has elevated. They are,
no pun intended,
the only team to win over 60 games, losing 60 games 2 seasons ago. They're the only team in history. So I would say it would be between those 2 and Brown. Now, interestingly, when Cunningham, who I thought was like Brown, by the way, had a better team, but they won without him.
Yeah.
They did, which is kudos to them, which also says a message to the NBA, by the way. People who say the Pistons aren't for real, well, I don't know. They did pretty well without him.
Yep.
They did pretty well without him. Hey, this is sort of a football-basketball crossover I just want to bring up. I found it really interesting. Okay. The other night in Washington Golden State game, okay, coming down the stretch, Washington in a close game intentionally fouled Seth Curry. Now, this isn't fouling Mitchell Robinson. Seth Curry, as we know, is a good shooter. I think he's 9 for 10 for the year because he hasn't played very much. But we know he's a good shooter, right? They fouled him. So immediately, everybody went to the Wizards are trying to lose.
I know. Draymond Green said something.
Okay. But here's what happened. If they're trying to lose, it backfired because Doug McDermott came down, hit a 3, and the Wizards won they won by 5 at the end. Okay, they won. They won the game. I think they won the game. So, but Scal said there's one other possibility. He was playing, I think, overseas, and someone told him to foul a coach. Only time a coach has ever done it, when they were ahead. And he goes, if he makes 2, we're down. And the coach said, yeah, but I want the ball. Where have we heard that? The National Football League.
Yeah.
That's right.
He even advocated for it. Let him score. We want the ball last. I doubt this will become a trend, but I just found it interesting.
By the way, I think the coach in that circumstance that you just alluded to said that he wanted to call a play.
Yeah.
That was why he had him foul.
Yeah, I believe it. I just found it fascinating because, we've sat and texted, let him score, let him score. We get it to Brady. We want Brady with the ball last.
Yeah. Don't let him use up clock. All right, we got to move on. Good points, guys. All right, the Masters is underway as we tape this. I'm going to turn it over to Jim to get us started. We don't have a lot of time, and we do want to touch on the NCAA. So let's make it
Okay.
quick here, fellas. Okay.
Sure. My favorite tournament of the year. You know, we can talk about the golf course ad infinitum. It's great. I love it. I love the Masters.
Yeah.
Good winning scores, usually between 10 and 12 or something like that. I think the Masters is wide open. And predicting to me is in golf is just,
Right.
it's just
Yeah.
too hard. And I'm just looking forward to, I think the Masters, to me, the beauty of the course, but also the finishing holes. It's like we know them. It's like the course we play on at home. You know, it's like, oh yeah, yeah. They got to go over the water on 12, and they play the par 5. Got to get over the water on the second shot, and we can just name the last 7 holes like we've played them all our lives. And I think all of that combined, I'm really looking forward to it. And I'll have a lot more to say next week.
Did you guys hear that Mark Calcavecchia got thrown off the course for taking a cell phone call?
You know what? I saw a
Did he
headline
really?
that somebody did.
Wow.
That was him.
Mark
And
Calcavecchia.
the article that I read cited several similar examples in recent years of players and media members, and one guy had shorts on, and it just I guess if you wear socks to the champions dinner, that's offensive. You have to have no socks.
Really?
This like it's like there's all these strange rules.
Didn't know that.
So I actually did a little diving into the Masters this year. I normally don't try to predict. One guy that's been hot lately, but we haven't noticed it, is Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah,
He
he's won 2
plays on
tournaments.
Live, but he's been winning,
Yeah, he won 2 tournaments.
right? He's won at Live. Another interesting guy to look at is Aberg. Is that how you pronounce it? I
It's
always
actually
get it.
pronounced Oberg, I think.
Oberg,
No,
right.
it's with an A.
Who every time he's appeared in the Masters has finished in the top 10.
Great
So that was
player.
kind of right.
Matter of time.
And what player in golf the last 7 years has made 5 top 10s?
In the Masters?
Yeah,
Player.
Xander
Schauffele.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Schauffele. Okay.
Hey, Bryson is playing with a 5-iron made with a 3D printer
Yeah.
that he
Is that
designed.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
He's
Maybe
old
that's my
nickname.
problem.
I'm sorry?
Maybe that's my problem.
Yeah, get a 3D printer. The mad
No, but
scientist.
my big question is it a tradition unlike any other? I just want to make that clear.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And how about Gary Player coming out this morning after the ceremonial tee shots, and then Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watson, the other ceremonial tee shots, agreeing with him that they want to see the ball changed. They said it goes too far. Gary said, there are no par 5s anymore for pros.
Yeah.
There are no
My
par
concern
5s.
there is, what are they going to do to the amateur?
There'd be 2 different rules. Nicholas said if they went with a certain proposal, it'll affect Rory McIlroy 12 yards. The amateurs 1. The weekday golfer 1 yard. They might do it differently.
I'm going to buy a gigantic bucket of used Callaway softballs before this happens,
Right. Yeah.
because
they are.
I don't want.
Or they just do it for the pros and not the weekend golfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so.
I don't know. I didn't read the article that close. I could be wrong on some of that, but
haven't they been knocking this around for a few years?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. They've been talking about this for a while now. There's people. I was listening to some guys on the Golf Channel just saying that the courses weren't made for guys to hit the ball 350 yards originally.
Well, he said like last year they're using 7-irons into the par 5s.
Yeah.
Well, have you guys ever watched Shell Wonderful World of Golf, Hogan versus Snead?
Yeah.
Of course.
All right, so Hogan versus Snead is fascinating to watch. They play it at the Houston Country Club,
Yeah.
and it's 275 off the tee.
Yeah.
2 guys, I think they're slightly past their prime at that point. It's in the 60s.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam has a gigantic beer belly. It's really not a good look.
I think it's still play though.
Oh, he still had that sweet swing, and the putting surface is a little rough.
Yeah.
But and they're using irons.
Speaking of those guys, Gary Player played in the par 3 yesterday.
Did
He's
he?
unbelievable.
When I checked it, he was even. It's unbelievable. He's 90 years old.
Well, I think he has 2,100 rounds in a row breaking his age.
Wow.
Some outrageous number.
Yeah.
The guy I play with down here breaks his age every time we play.
Wow.
He's 81. He'll shoot like 77, 78.
Yep.
That's
Hey,
why
how
I'm
about a
looking forward to
live
getting. I don't
update?
want to be so old that I can break my age.
How about a live update at the Masters? Sam Burns and Patrick Reed tied at 4 under.
The
Whoa.
ever popular Patrick Reed.
Coming back to the PGA Tour. It's very maybe in August, as early as August.
All right, so we got a few minutes. I want to talk about the NCAA tournament. I'm going to get us started on this one. I found the Final Four to be kind of unlike you, Kenny, who had a rooting interest. Your daughter went to UConn. You didn't go to UConn. Your daughter went to UConn.
Yeah, my money went to UConn.
Beth Berman's UConn Huskies.
Yes.
I actually have a connection to UConn because I went to URI, and that's where Hurley used to coach.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you too can be a UConn fan.
I have more connection than you.
We'll let you be a UConn fan because of that.
No, anyway, I found the Final Four to be kind of And I I don't want to start the NCAA discussion on a sour note, but I just can't get into it anymore. They're basically pro athletes wearing jerseys given to them by the schools. I appreciate that they were getting screwed all those years because the schools were making all the money and they weren't getting anything. In theory, they weren't getting anything. They were getting stuff. But it's just, it's hard to get. I guess Jason Romano and his kids are happy because they went to Michigan.
Yeah.
But they just put that team together with a bunch of transfers.
Yeah, the starting lineup was 5 transfers.
Right. They're not really students. I'm just going to say for me, it takes a little away from it. And it takes a lot away from it, frankly.
I find the first round more fun than anything else nowadays when there's some crazy upsets and teams you never heard of are playing. And, sure, I was, I'm happy UConn made it to the final game and stuff like that. But I think I told you guys a long time ago, I just didn't think it was a really good team this year. So kudos to them for getting there. I think they overachieved to get to the finals because I just really never thought that was a great UConn team. But so I had the rooting interest, like you said, because I'm a UConn fan now. But yeah, I don't know, Paul. It doesn't excite me like it used to. I'm not sure if it's because of NIL or transfers or not, but I just don't find college basketball as compelling overall.
Well, the players aren't as good because
right.
The superstars aren't staying in college. You put Cooper Flag out there and Con Knipple in that Final Four, it might have been different. But yeah, I thought the Final Four was a letdown because none of the games were good.
Michigan blew out Arizona, right?
First of all, we had UConn handle Illinois fairly easily. It was semi-close.
They got it down to like 4 or 5 in the fourth.
Yeah,
into the second half.
I don't know. And then we had the ultimate letdown to me. We had 2 powerhouse teams, playing, and a lot of people were really looking forward to that game, and it was a dud. Michigan just blew them out. It reminds me of the old Danny. Well, it wasn't Danny, but the old 2 blowout theory in a 7-game series about with equal teams. Well, we've only got 1 game in the national semifinals, and we got one of those 2 games. So that was, and then the final to me, the teams couldn't shoot. Michigan was the better team.
Yeah.
But even they shot poorly. They're a good 3-point shooting team, and they shot poorly, and they still won the game. And, their defense is really good, Michigan. Really good defense. But it wasn't a good game. And the first round to me was the best round. The Duke game with UConn was a great game, but it just didn't do it. As far as the rest of it, I'm not as into it as I used to be, but that's mainly because the players changed so much. I don't really.
You can't follow anybody.
It's like, what do we think we were watching before? And I find the best solution that I've heard, I think was put forward by Joe Hassett of PC Radio. And I think Jay Billis was really saying the problems. And that's like, you know, need to sign these guys contracts. Just pay them. Just pay them. If we're really, and as Billis said, do things that the law is going to allow. You know, he's telling Calipari, you're not getting an antitrust exemption for the NCAA out of Congress. It's not happening. You know, sign him, and you can sign him for 3 years, and then it's like a pro. They want to go, just like a coach.
They can't.
You got to, or you buy him out. Your choice. And I'd find that to be reasonable. But as Billis said, NCAA doesn't want to do that because they'd have to deal with a union. They don't want the players to form a union. So the NCAA has brought this on, and I don't know what it's going to stop it. But I'll say this, Paul, you're a Syracuse guy. You've won a national championship. Ken, the debate goes on, whether they're your Huskies or you're just a fan.
They're not.
We'll let the public decide that one.
No,
You've won, I don't know how many national championships, 5 now?
6.
Is it 6?
Yeah.
Oh, 2 Calhoun, 1 Ollie, 2 Hurley, or 3 Calhoun?
3 Calhouns, I believe.
Okay. Well, Providence has not won one. So if we get in the Final Four, I am going to be psyched. I don't care if they came from, Michigan, Luka Doncic's country, whatever. We get 5 guys that put us in the Final Four, I'm going to be psyched because we've
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I think one of the things, we're Boston sports nuts. We've never really had a team that was a perennial, contender. I mean, I remember back in the 70s, I was a huge Providence College fan in the 60s, and I would look in the Providence Journal to see where PC was ranked in New England.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that was a big deal. Like, are we ahead of Assumption? Are we ahead of Holy Cross? Are we ahead of BC? Wherever. Basketball in the United States has gotten national. So if you don't have a team in the hunt, you could still follow it. But it was more fun, I thought, for me anyway, old timer boomer talk, when it was sort of a regional thing and you wanted to win your area or win your conference, and you would celebrate the hell out of it if you won the Big East.
Yeah, well, I think you bring up another good point is that
Mm-hmm.
this national stuff, I mean, the fact that, USC is in whatever they're in, the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's taken a lot of fun out of it. There's no doubt about it. Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan, Indiana, Michigan State, Michigan. Yeah, all right, PCURI, PC with, Dave Gavitt, brilliant in forming the Big East because he put all the top Eastern schools in one conference. And they formed rivalries. But PC already had rivalries with St. John's, and BC, who was an original member. And then they just added other Eastern teams. That was a lot more fun.
Yeah, and if you're a fan in one of these big conferences, don't rest easy because I believe that if not in our lifetime, our kids' lifetime, there will be a super league. They're just, the Alabamas, the Notre Dames, the Ohio States. They don't want to share the money with the bottom feeders of their conferences.
Well, the big question in college sports, or a big question, is with all these big conferences, maybe you could say the Big Four, and I don't include the Big East in that. The schools that play football too. Are they going to get to a point where they're going to say, we don't need the NCAA? What do we need them for?
Yeah.
Just combine, have our own tournament, and in football, we got the top 10 out of 12 teams anyway.
Yeah, we'll just play our own little thing. All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. So any final concluding remarks?
Concluding remarks. Yeah, I think the new Providence College coach had a good debut as long as we're on college basketball. And hopefully he's going to bring some hope back to the program after a disastrous year. So wish him all the best and obviously hope he's very successful.
And, as much as he doesn't care about it, there's a strong case that Joe Mazzulla should be coach of the year.
Agree.
Yeah. My last comment is we're going to have some exciting NFL draft talk. I know Jim is going to be up all night waiting for this.
Yes.
Because he loves it. in the next couple of weeks.
Now, Paul is going to do that, and I will, in the next episode, take you through. We'll give how about giving our predictions for the NBA series now that we'll know.
All right, very good.
I do not want to take credit because Paul is an is an NFL draft expert.
No one's an expert, but I appreciate
well, as much as you can be on a
right.
craft.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
All
Paul.
right. All right. For Jim and Ken, I'm Paul. Thanks to our producer, Evan Cardamino. We'll see you next time on Boston Sports Nuts.
Thank you for watching Boston Sports Nuts. You can find all of our episodes available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. For more information, go to westwoodmediacenter.tv or follow Boston Sports Nuts on Facebook, Instagram, and X.